Hello everyone! We are now going to explore two artworks from the Women's Textiles Across Africa online exhibition. This exhibition description states, this exhibition will reintroduce visitors to a broad view of women's lives across the African continent by highlighting a selection of textiles designed, crafted, and worn by women to celebrate their status. In other words, we will focus on celebrating women of Africa who are misunderstood members of the community. Outside of the community, they might be viewed as unimportant, but inside they're very important members of society. They act as leaders, spiritual guides, artists, and more. Do you know what a textile is? A textile is a type of fabric or cloth that is woven or handmade. Can you think of a textile in your daily life? So, with that in mind, the first artwork we're going to look at is this marriage shawl / wedding cape. And it's created by an unidentified Zulu artist. So that is an African culture. And it's from the 20th century, so relatively modern. And the material that this is made out of is cotton and beads. So the first question I want you to think about is, how do you show that you like someone? If you need more time to think about that, go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to talk about how the artist shows this. The artists, women of the Zulu community, use color combinations and colored beads to show interest in a romantic partner. In the same way we might write a love letter. Now, I want you to think about the colors the artist chose to use. How do those colors make you feel? And I want you to notice the bright pink and the light blue. All the colors come across as very happy to me. You might use these colors when you're making, say, a Valentine's Day card. Now, have you ever received a love letter or Valentine's card? How did that make you feel? All right, so now we'll move on to the next piece. This textile is made and worn by women. Keep in mind that there are many different cultures and countries in Africa, so not just Zulu. Therefore, this piece will have a different use and meaning than the one that we just looked at.
Right, so the next piece that we're going to be looking at is the Young Woman's Blouse from the Wadobe culture. Now, one thing that I initially want to ask you guys is, does this look like something you would wear in America? And if so, what does it look like? All right, so a little bit of background on this piece. So this piece is worn during the culture celebration called Jerawol. And in the celebration, women who have already been put into an arranged marriage or a marriage where they already have their husband chosen for them are given the choice to choose a new husband based on their appearance and what they like. As you can see on the screen, there's some image of the Jerawol festival. Now, these pictures are all the men of the tribe. Now, what they do during this festival is the men will go out dressed wearing feathers, beaded clothing, vests, and other accessories, as well as painting their face red, white, and yellow in order to make their teeth and eyes appear whiter. Now, the reason for this is because women find the white teeth and eyes very attractive and are more likely to choose them as their new suitor. So what I want to ask you guys is, how is this similar or different to our culture? Are there any comparisons that you can make between our culture and theirs? In the event that one of these men impresses the women are free to leave their arranged marriage and marry that guy instead. Now, I'm sure you all know what the concept of marriage is. One person falls in love with another person, they marry and they stay together forever, right? Well, it's a little bit different in this culture. So instead, the girl's parents will meet up with the guy's parents, and they will say, we want our children to wed later when they are older. And so the marriage is already set and they will be married when they're older. So it's interesting that this happens because the kids have never met before. Now, what I want to know is, what do you think about arranged marriages happening in the 21st century or happening in the time period that we're in right now? And how do you feel like if you would be in their situation? Like, what would you think? Overall, I think these pieces are very interesting and have a lot of stories behind them. But one thing that I will say is that I highly encourage you guys to go onto the Gregory Alucard Museum, go to the exhibition of the women's textiles, and look through the rest of these pieces, because each and every piece in this exhibition has a different story and a totally different culture. And I feel like it's very important that you get to know each and every one and see that this whole world is a lot wider than you currently think it is.